This is beyond disrespectful. Triple H just made the most disgusting executive decision in WWE history, and if you're a Seth Rollins fan, you need to hear this right now because what just went down backstage is absolutely unacceptable. Seth Rollins, the man who carried WWE through the pandemic, the architect who built this company brick by brick, the visionary who gave us countless 5-star matches, has just been removed from all WWE programming. Raw, SmackDown, even NXT, everything. And the reason why will make your blood boil. 4 minutes ago, multiple WWE sources confirmed that Triple H has officially pulled Seth Rollins from all active rosters following what insiders are calling the most explosive backstage confrontation in recent WWE history. We're talking shouting, we're talking threats, we're talking about two of the biggest egos in professional wrestling going head-to-head with no referee to break it up. But here's what's making fans furious across social media right now. The reason for this removal has nothing to do with an injury, nothing to do with a wellness violation, and everything to do with Seth Rollins refusing to back down when Triple H tried to control his creative direction. Let that sink in for a moment. The same Triple H who preached about giving wrestlers creative freedom, the same game who promised a new era of listening to talent, just barnished one of WWE's top stars because Seth dared to have his own vision. According to backstage reports, the confrontation started during a creative meeting earlier today when Triple H pitched a storyline that would have Seth Rollins losing clean to a part-timer at the next premium live event. Seth, being the professional and proud competitor he is, questioned the logic. He asked the simple question that any of us would ask: how does this help me, help the full-time roster, or help the future of this company? And that's when things got nuclear. Triple H allegedly responded by saying, "You don't question my decisions. I built this business." To which Seth fired back with the legendary response, "You built this business? Brother, we built this business while you sat in an office." Can you imagine the tension in that room? The silence that must have followed? The shockwaves that must have rippled through every writer, every producer, every person who witnessed that moment? Question for the comments: do you think Seth Rollins was right to stand up to Triple H, or should he have just accepted the booking? Let me know below. Now, let's talk about the hypocrisy of this situation because it runs deep. When Triple H took over creative from Vince McMahon, what was his biggest selling point? That he would listen to talent, that he would create stars, that he understood what it's like to be in the ring because he was a wrestler. But the second someone challenges his authority, the second someone like Seth Rollins, who has proven himself time and time again, speaks up for himself, Triple H reverts to the same dictator tactics that WWE fans hated about the old regime. Remember when Seth Rollins wrestled with a broken back? Remember when he came back from a career-threatening knee injury and became WWE champion? Remember when he was the only main event star holding down Raw during the Thunderdome era when everyone else was home? Remember when he reinvented himself multiple times, from the Shield enforcer to the Monday Night Messiah to the flamboyant visionary we see today? Seth Rollins has given everything to this company. He's bled for WWE. He's sacrificed his body for WWE. He's been loyal when he could have left for AEW and made millions. And this is how he's rewarded? The wrestling community is exploding right now. Twitter is trending with hashtags like Save Seth Rollins and Triple H the new Vince. Reddit forums are melting down with threads analyzing every detail. Even wrestlers from other promotions are subtly tweeting their support for Seth. One current WWE superstar, who shall remain nameless for obvious reasons, allegedly texted a journalist saying, "If they can do this to Seth, they can do this to any of us. Nobody's safe anymore." Think about that statement. Nobody's safe. The locker room is in chaos. Morale is reportedly at an all-time low because if a multi-time world champion, a Grand Slam champion, a WrestleMania main eventer like Seth Rollins can be erased with the snap of Triple H's fingers, what hope do mid-carders have? What hope do rising stars have? Drop a comment. Which brand do you think needs Seth Rollins the most right now? Let's examine the facts of Seth's contributions to WWE. He's a two-time WWE champion, two-time Universal champion, one-time United States champion, five-time Raw Tag Team champion, two-time SmackDown Tag Team champion, and the 2019 Royal Rumble winner. The man is a certified legend. He's headlined WrestleMania multiple times. He's been in Match of the Year candidates consistently, but it goes deeper than accolades. Seth Rollins is one of the most reliable performers on the entire roster. When WWE needs someone to carry a feud, they call Seth. When they need someone to elevate a younger talent, they call Seth. When they need someone to deliver on the biggest stage, they call Seth. And how does Triple H repay this loyalty? by humiliating him, by making an example out of him, by showing the entire locker room that no one is bigger than the game's ego. Sources close to the situation claim that during the heated exchange, Seth even brought up Triple H's past backstage politics during his wrestling career. He allegedly mentioned how Triple H buried countless talented wrestlers during his reign of terror in the early 2000s. He brought up names like Booker T at WrestleMania 19, the Summer of Punk storyline, and how Triple H always seemed to go over when it didn't make business sense. These are facts that longtime WWE fans remember. These are the skeletons in Triple H's closet that no one in that corporate office dares to mention. But Seth Rollins, being the fearless leader that he is, put it all on the table. And that's why he's been removed. Not because he's difficult to work with, not because he's unprofessional, but because he spoke truth to power. The removal is reportedly effective immediately. Seth was scheduled to appear on tonight's Raw in a segment with Cody Rhodes, potentially building toward a WrestleMania program. That's been scrapped. He was supposed to be part of the Survivor Series traditional elimination match, cancelled. There were even talks about him challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship. All of it, gone. Quick question for engagement: what match do you think Seth Rollins was robbed of at the next WrestleMania? Comment your dream match. But here's where this story gets even more interesting. Several WWE veterans have reportedly reached out to Seth, offering their support and advice. Names are being whispered like Edge, who had his own creative disagreements before leaving, and Christian Cage, who famously left WWE to rejuvenate his career elsewhere. Could we be witnessing the beginning of Seth Rollins' exit from WWE? Could AEW be preparing a contract offer that would shake the wrestling world to its core? Imagine Seth Rollins showing up on AEW Dynamite. Imagine the dream matches. Seth vs. Kenny Omega. Seth vs. Will Ospreay. Seth vs. Bryan Danielson. The possibilities would be endless. Tony Khan is probably refreshing his phone right now waiting for Seth's agent to call. Because if there's one thing we know about Tony Khan, he loves signing disgruntled WWE talent, and Seth Rollins wouldn't just be any signing, he would be the biggest acquisition in AEW history. WWE stock price has already taken a minor hit since this news broke. Investors are worried. Shareholders are concerned. Because at the end of the day, Seth Rollins is a draw. He sells merchandise. He moves the needle. He gets reactions. The WWE universe is divided right now. Some fans are defending Triple H, saying he's the boss and what he says goes. They argue that no wrestler should be bigger than the company, but the majority of fans are standing with Seth Rollins. They are creating fan art. They are making video tributes. They are organizing social media campaigns. This is the power of Seth Rollins. This is the influence he has. Even when he's been removed from programming, he's still the most talked about name in wrestling today. Final question: if Seth Rollins leaves WWE, where should he go? AEW, NJPW, or start his own promotion? Drop your answer below. The situation is still developing as we speak. WWE officials have been in emergency meetings all afternoon. Sponsors are reportedly asking questions. Network executives want answers, because removing a star of Seth Rollins' caliber 4 months before WrestleMania season is either a power move or a catastrophic mistake. Some insiders believe this could all be a work, an elaborate storyline to create buzz. But multiple credible sources are confirming this is legitimate backstage heat. This is a real conflict between two alpha personalities who both believe they know what's best for business. What happens next could define WWE for the next decade. Will Triple H blink first and bring Seth back with an apology? Will Seth refuse to return and take his talents elsewhere? Will this lead to a mass exodus of unhappy WWE talent? Will Vince McMahon somehow get involved to mediate? The wrestling world is watching. Every major news outlet is covering this story. Every podcast is doing emergency episodes. Every YouTuber is making videos. Because this is the biggest story in wrestling right now. Seth Rollins is at a crossroads. Triple H is at a credibility crisis. And WWE is at a tipping point. One thing is absolutely certain: the wrestling landscape just changed forever. And whether you love Seth Rollins or hate him, whether you support Triple H or criticize him, you cannot deny that this is the most compelling drama in sports entertainment. So make sure you're subscribed to Wrestling Zone 1 because we will be covering every single development in this story. Hit that notification bell because updates are coming fast. And most importantly, let your voice be heard in the comments section below. The revolution will be televised, and it's happening right now.